Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Low Side Podcast. This is, of course, a podcast where three dudes gather around a room and talk about what is ever on their mind. Of course, I'm one of your hosts, Nate. I'm joined with Steve.
What's up, guys?
And Sredy.
Hello, everybody.
And we've got a great episode for you today. But, of course, before we talk about what is in the episode, a quick reminder. We are on iTunes and Google Play. You can listen to this podcast there.
Yes.
It's much more convenient. You can subscribe. Also, maybe drop us a rating. Please.
We need those reviews.
And of course, I explained it on the last episode, but I'm just going to do it again. All of our episodes will be available on YouTube as sort of like an archive. Of course, we will post the new episodes there as well. And the most current episodes will be available on the platforms such as iTunes and Google Play and SoundCloud.
The reason why we do that is because we are very broke, and SoundCloud only allows us 3 hours of free record time.
Yep. So, and we're not paying for SoundCloud.
Nope.
But like
or
I said,
anything else.
We've got a great episode. Alex, why don't you tell us what we are talking about today?
Absolutely. So the first thing is we have an update from MoviePass.
Hey.
Of course, they changed everything again.
Once again,
we're going to be talking about the Cashing Out trailer, which debuted this previous Thursday.
That's Alex's movie, if you didn't know.
Yeah,
It's Alex's movie.
Much hype.
Much hype. As well as our first official sponsor. Can we call it a sponsor, even though I'm not paying you guys for anything?
Yeah, I guess we could say that.
The Cashing Out merch store.
Ooh.
Hey.
We can get all of your favorite Cashing Out sweaters, t-shirts, and signed posters by yours truly.
Are they framed?
They are not framed.
I don't want it.
Unless you want to pay me like $50 to frame it.
Yeah,
then
you add a
I'll
frame
gladly
on
frame
that.
It. Yeah.
The shipping.
I tried to keep the prices as low as possible.
Good deal.
Framed posters are not cheap,
Yeah.
to say the least. What else do we got? We have summer goals and plans for all of our YouTube channels / content. And then afterwards, we're going to be talking about our thoughts on home devices such as the Google Assist,
Alexa, all those goodies.
Yep, as well as the Apple Watch, just our general thoughts on those.
Right.
We have Shreddy's take, which we're switching up a little bit. We're actually going to be doing a discussion on the movie Suspiria, the old classic horror film, one of Nate's favorites. We're going to be talking about that. And then finally, we'll be ending with our main topic, which is how to get out of a creative rut. What do we do when we have writer's block or we're just not inspired? Sort of like the opposite of what Nate and I talked about on the last episode.
We talked about what inspires us. Now we're going to talk about what happens when we get a little burnt out.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great episode, to say the very least. Alex, do you want to start us off with our first topic?
Yes. So, if you guys remember, we talked about MoviePass quite a bit last week.
Boo.
Yep.
And basically what we talked about, if you didn't listen to it, is that they changed their policies to where if you are a new subscriber, you basically can only watch a movie a week, as well as get a 3-month subscription to the very popular
Yeah, I use it.
iHeartRadio.
Yeah. Everyone's
a-
clamoring for
I
it.
feel
Not
like-
a huge
yeah.
selling point. However, something we didn't talk about that I read about shortly after we did the podcast is that since you're signing up for the iHeartRadio, if you're not paying attention and don't cancel the iHeartRadio subscription,
Nice.
you're paying for it. Like, they don't just ask you, hey, do you still want to do this? It's,
Got him.
you got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Acquired him.
Right. So, what MoviePass has done now is they have switched back to where if you are a new subscriber, guess what? You can watch a movie a day.
Woohoo!
But you still cannot watch the same movie.
Question, has their customer service improved at all?
Their customer service has probably declined even more since they changed their policies.
There's been, yeah.
They had to cut somewhere. They're like,
Right.
okay, we can't
Right.
afford everybody watching
Right. If we're
a
going to
movie.
add iHeartRadio, we got to cut back
well,
somewhere.
not just the iHeartRadio, but going back to the movie a day.
Right.
All right, guys. Well, this is costing us too much, so now we're
Yep.
down to literally one customer service rep for the entire company.
Yeah.
And that guy probably left because the flip flop between their policies. I'm sure plenty of people were very upset. It's funny to me though that in one of the interviews with Mitch Lowe, he pretty much tried to pass this move off as marketing 101, and I just find that really funny because this is very obviously reverted back to the old ways because of all of the backlash from the new plan. Like if you look at the comments on their Facebook page or anything when they were offering the newer tier, the one movie a week, it was all just like, what is this? This is garbage. Like switch it back to the old way. And yeah, we see what you're doing, Mitch Lowe. Yeah, so we just wanted to bring that up because last week we talked about the plans changed and now they've changed back. So MoviePass, go home. You're drunk.
Yep. So moving on to our next topic, I don't want to say too much about this because just want your guys' general reactions, but the Cashing Out trailer is finally out. I've been promising it since, I think, January, and it's May.
Nice.
And it's finally out.
Yeah.
So what'd you guys think?
A little bit of a delay. Steve, you want to go first?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I was honestly really impressed. A lot of it is, you see a lot of local films that come to our, the theater that's in town, and, the quality is good, the sound is maybe okay, and then the acting is just kind of like, all right, I could, it's passable, The trailer, and I'm not just saying this because we do the podcast, because you're sitting across from me, and I'm a punch away from.
We don't do video, but Alex is holding a gun to both of us. Please send help.
Everything was just really smooth, and we've been teasing you and cracking jokes for the last couple years about oh yeah, we'll see your show soon. We'll see that movie when it comes around, and then when I watched the trailer today, it was really like, this is it, like it's really coming, and it's just all the hard work that's been put into this show by yourself, all your colleagues, the people who've helped you, and from what I remember, no one's getting paid. I mean, this is all just volunteer help for the most part.
For the most part, yeah.
And, just the dedication that these people put into this show, or this film is, it was awesome to see that kind of through the trailer, all the hard work, all that, all the efforts. It's a high-level trailer, and I think people are really going to like it.
Yeah. You cut this trailer yourself, right, Alex?
Correct. I'm cutting the trailer, and I've cut the picture of the movie. I'm doing a little bit of the sound work, too. However, I do have a sound mixer who's going to be doing the bulk of the work.
Nice. Yeah, I really thought there was just a level of professionalism in the trailer that I kind of wasn't expecting. I know you're really good at editing. Like, I know that in my head, but at the same time, like, cutting a trailer and knowing what to put in and what to keep out, and the pacing of a trailer is, I feel like, something that people don't normally give a lot of, like, respect to, but I was really impressed with the way the trailer was cut. Very cinematic. Love the one shot. That's probably going to be my favorite shot in the movie, where it's all dark.
The silhouette.
The silhouette.
Yeah, that was super cool.
So good.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, a funny story about that. Not really a spoiler or anything like that, but we shot that. It was actually a year ago, probably in like a week from now. It was a year ago that we shot that. But basically, that was a mistake. That wasn't supposed to happen. We did probably like 5 takes of, because basically this character's standing in the driveway of the house that's on the right side of the frame. Mm-hmm. So he's walking over to his car, which is on the left side of the frame, and then he walks in the middle of the street, and then he's just standing where he is. There was 2 takes where a car just happened to be passing by, and just like so perfectly in that one shot, just that silhouette moment, and I'm like, wow, like. Dope.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that was. I figured that was intentional.
No, it was a complete accident. It was not supposed to happen.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
It's probably going to be one of the most iconic shots in the whole movie.
I would agree with that. That's a really good shot. But yeah, I was just overall really excited about the quality of the trailer. I was very happy for you.
Yes. A lot of hard work.
Yeah. So it's obvious.
Yeah. The other thing too that I noticed is what I liked about the trailer. It didn't give too much away, but it drew me in enough to be like, now I have to go see the movie.
I feel
and not wait. I didn't see the whole movie in the trailer, so it's one of those where when it comes out, you want to go watch it, find out the rest of the story, and see what happens, because the trailers nowadays, they give you everything in 2 minutes, and you're like, oh, I already saw that. All right, maybe I'll skip it, skip the cinematic, visit.
Yeah, I feel like I had a general idea of the plot of the movie, but there was some things in the trailer where I was like, oh, I didn't know this was going to be something that happened in this movie. So it's gotten me excited, even more excited, because I'm excited to watch the movie just in general, because, support your friends and stuff.
Right.
Support the local arts and your friends who make things.
Yes. So I'm ready for the movie. I'm ready to see it. That's
Congrats
all I can
to you,
say.
Sredy.
Yes.
Congrats to you, sir.
Thank you.
And hashtag where's the Blu-ray?
Hashtag where's the Blu-ray? That's a whole other conversation that I'm not going to be able to get into, but I'm kind of surprised. I'm very happy that you guys say that it doesn't give a lot, because I've tried desperately not to do that.
Yeah.
Some of the people who have seen the movie said that maybe it gives a little too much away, but I don't really agree with that. I mean, yeah, you might be able to piece things together if you watch the trailer like 50 times before you go watch the movie, and then you start seeing things progress as they do in the trailer. But I mean, I don't really expect people to watch this trailer a lot before the actual movie comes out when it does.
Yeah. What I liked about it too, though, is like on last week's episode, you guys talked about respecting the process. And in my opinion, part of the process is making a quality trailer without giving out too much information.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was done very well with this trailer. And again, I can't wait for it to come out. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, in an age where trailers are probably worse than ever in terms of giving stuff out. Actually, I don't know, because there are a lot of trailers from like the 70s and 80s where it is literally a beat by beat of the plot.
Yeah, actually, one trailer that always sticks out to me. Have you guys ever seen The Graduate, the Dustin Hoffman movie?
Yes.
No.
Okay. So if you watch that trailer, it's literally like just watching the movie.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even cut it like a trailer. They just cut it's like 5 minutes long, and it's just like scenes from the movie, like full scenes.
Yeah.
But
But I guess
it drives me nuts.
I guess what's different nowadays is that we get the teaser trailer or we get the teaser for the teaser trailer, then we get the teaser for the full trailer, then we get the full trailer, then we get the international trailer. It's like it gets to the point
too much.
It gets to the point where if you combine all of the little bits and clips from each individual trailer, you could probably put together a decent chunk of the movie. I'm looking at you, Marvel, and I'm looking at you, Star Wars.
Yeah, I tried to desperately avoid that, because some of our listeners probably don't know that I actually cut a trailer already together. I cut something together while we were shooting, and it didn't have any dialogue or anything like that because we were still shooting.
Yeah.
So I just, quickly, I literally cut that trailer together in a day. So and this newest trailer is more, it's kind of the same. It just has dialogue pieces now, and I used, a lot more of the story elements that I didn't have shot at the time, because I think we probably still had 5 weeks to shoot when I made the first trailer. So I'm hoping people don't complain that it, it's too similar to the original, but you don't really get anything from the other one other than, hey, look, some of his shots look pretty, even though I don't really know what's going on other than it's a movie about robbing poker players.
The dialogue certainly helped paint a better picture, which is obviously what you want.
Yeah, and a lot of cutting a trailer is rough, because like you guys were talking about, you don't want to give away too much. You just want to give away just enough. And I spent
just to reel them in. I
spent a lot of time finding a lot of pieces that would make sense to just build up the story very quickly. And there's actually, I pulled a Marvel, I guess you guys would say. There are moments in the trailer that are not in the movie.
Nice.
But I did that just to...
Well, great.
Yeah, I know. But there's one particular piece of dialogue that always sticks out to me. I think all the shots are in the movie. In the original trailer, there's one shot in the movie that's not there anymore. And because, funny story, I actually deleted that footage.
Nice.
The raw footage. So the only clip I have of that is from that trailer. And it's compressed, so I'm probably not going to use it. But
what could possibly go wrong using a YouTube compressed file?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
But the line, I don't know if you guys remember, but he asked, "Where do you want to be in 5 years?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that line's not in the movie anymore.
What?
I cut it
Dang.
out.
That's never mind. Cancel my pre-order.
Yeah.
Cancel the
I
pre-order.
need my shirt refund.
Yeah, but you wouldn't even remember. It's just if you went back and really picked apart everything, you'd be like, you know what? This line of dialogue was not in the trailer.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on?
Yo, Alex, talk to me outside.
Yeah.
We have a problem.
So while we're on the subject of cashing out, you want to do a quick little merch plug?
Merch plug.
Merch plug.
Yes. So,
Buy that merch.
again, here we go with the first official sponsor.
Thank you, Cashing Out Film. I'm totally excited.
Yes. So I have 5 different items. So I have 5 different items for sale right now. I have 2 hoodies, 2 t-shirts, and a poster that I will personally autograph and write you a special message if you really want that. If not, I can just do my signature autograph, which I had to learn how to do recently. I'm pretty decent graphic designer, but for some reason, like trying to design an autograph is super hard.
Yeah.
Because it's got to look shitty, I guess, but it's got to look like a specific type.
It sounds so silly to say, but I don't think a lot of people really think about it. But people practice their autograph and like stylize it to make it something a little bit unique. It's not just writing your name in cursive or just your normal signature. It's got to have a little bit of flair to it,
Yeah, so I've been like going back and forth if I just wanted to do Sredy or just the one I have currently is Alex Sredy, even though I don't think anybody's going to notice that it says Alex Sredy, but that's pretty much what it writes out to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the store I'll put up a link in the description of the audio file of this podcast as well as the video as well, because I can tell you the link, but I don't have a domain for the store. So the store itself is awsfilmsmerch.bigcartel.com, which is a little complicated to remember. I also have a bit.ly link.
There you go.
So I got bit.ly/cashing out store. But again, I'm going to put a link for all this in the description of everything just so you guys don't have to remember that.
So pick up some Cashing Out merch. It's printed on Gildan.
Printed on Gildan.
I know it sounds weird. I feel like I'm probably alone in this, but I definitely care about what my t-shirts are printed on.
Oh, I agree.
Because it makes a difference.
Yes, it does.
And I really like Gildan. Specifically, Gildan hoodies are usually pretty awesome.
The hoodies, I've been like telling people this. I was like, get a hoodie because they are comfy.
Yeah.
Like they are very comfy. And I have personally tested all of the merch. I've bought everything that I'm selling, and I made sure it was the quality that I wanted, that the print looks right. Yeah. Like there's, funny enough, one of the shirts that I have, one of the prints didn't come out right. There's like something wrong with my Photoshop file, so I just colored it with a marker on my actual shirt. But I fixed it for when you guys purchase it. I'm not going to tell you which one it is, but one of the 4 items didn't come out right, but it's all good now.
Yeah. I think I know which one it is because you showed me the test merch.
Yes. Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. It is that shirt, but it's not that exact shirt. It's the same logo.
Okay. Yeah. I saw the test merch. I can attest to the quality. The print is good. I was actually really impressed when you told me how much you paid for everything.
Yeah.
On the back end. And the quality is there. So I'm excited. I'm hyped. Go get you some Cashing Out merch.
Buy that merch.
Buy that merch. That's a Jake Paul reference.
Yeah.
That's no one knows.
But now I'm probably going to get sued.
Yeah.
Because he's probably got that shit like trademarked or something.
Yeah, you're going to get a call tomorrow.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on.
So let's move on to what Steve wanted to talk about with the home assists and all that. So why don't you take this one away?
All right. Basically, I've been curious. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say about these items. But for whatever reason, and obviously rightfully so, there's a lot of people that have these items, and I've seen a lot of commercials lately on TV, especially with watching the NHL playoffs and just whatever's on TV. But they're always advertising, "Hey Alexa, turn on my car. Hey Alexa, start the microwave. Hey Alexa, clean my house." And it's just like all these other devices that are there to assist you they talk to each other. Mm-hmm. And some of them it seems very intriguing. Like I would love a Roomba to clean my house all the time, but with Franklin at the house, his fur would probably burn that machine up. So I'm afraid.
Actually, you know what? Funny that you mentioned that because those things are very. Did you see how expensive they are?
Yeah.
I had no idea how much they cost, but they seem very, very heavy duty.
Yeah.
So I feel like you'd probably be okay as long as you emptied it out and cleaned it frequently.
And that's like part of the problem. Like, are these things worth it to purchase? Because, like I have Franklin at the house. He's a golden retriever, if you guys don't know. His fur's everywhere. And our vacuum that I bought, it's a stand-up, vacuum. That canister gets filled, and it's literally another animal inside that vacuum. So I'm curious, is it strong enough to do that, pick up that much fur? How often do you need to replace it? And is it even worth buying? Because the price is pretty high for these items that are supposed to assist you, but is it really worth it in the long run? I guess that's kind of my question.
Do you know off the top of your head how much a Roomba is?
I think they're like $200.
Because I've never looked into it. Because I just use a normal vacuum cleaner like a human being.
I don't think because I've seen them over at like Walmart and Meijer, and I don't know if they sell the Roomba brand particularly, but I have seen them for around like 200, because I thought about picking one up myself until I saw the price tag, and I'm like, I don't really need this right now, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
So it looks like anywhere between $300 up to $800. So
Depending on
depending on the model, the make, all that
Sure.
stuff. But I mean, I would love to have these devices at the house, but they're so expensive. The Alexa thing I think would be awesome. Whatever the thing is that hey Alexa, turn, because
Right.
I think the functionality of, maybe if you're in the shower, hey, switch to the next song. I mean, your phone can do that, but if you can connect your stereo system to, Alexa and kind of have that convenience, I think that's pretty cool. But, where does it become, like you said, Nate, he uses a regular, vacuum or mop to clean up stuff. When does that kind of become lazy? When does it when do you cross the spectrum into, oh, you're just a lazy person?
I don't really think it comes down to you just being a lazy person. I mean, having an automated vacuum system, I don't really feel like that constitutes you being lazy. I mean, because we all got better things to do than clean.
Right.
So if you have something that can make that process a little more painless and
Right.
quick, I mean, because you can vacuum while you're cleaning something else as well,
Right.
So it's like you're killing two birds with one stone. So I'm all about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily plan on purchasing one anytime soon just because I don't really have a use for it. But
Right.
I feel like as soon as I do, if it's good quality and, it does a really nice job, I don't really see why not.
Yeah.
Do those things roll good on carpets? Because a lot of times I see them, it's usually just on like a hard floor.
Yeah, that's
or
all I've
tile.
seen too. I don't know if they do. I'm sure there's probably a heavier duty model. Maybe
It's
that's
probably
why
the-
it's $800.
yeah.
The one that do,
That would
that
make
do roll
sense.
over carpet. But I guess and I'm trying to buy into more of this. Have something help you or automate your life a little easier. To,
Yeah.
anything that'll make my life easier, I'm down for. The only problem is when I run into like our cell phones with Siri. Hey, can you do this for me? And it's either doesn't pick up my voice right, or I say something wrong, and then it becomes more of a hassle than it was a convenience to just maybe call Nate and say, hey, we're meeting up tonight or whatever. You know what I mean?
Currently, word on the street is that Google Assist is like top notch as far as like the AI, like
Really?
picking up your voice and picking up like your actual voice versus somebody else's.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about Siri, and I don't want to speak too loud because I don't want to
Right. She'll turn
her on.
Yeah.
pressing the right buttons.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. But as far as like the Google, or not the Google, like the Alexa, or just I guess the Google Assist too, because those are also like the Alexa, right? Like they have their own home assist, like
Yeah.
pod thing, whatever you want to call it. I don't
Yeah.
know what the technical term is for it. If you're okay with that thing listening to you 24/7, I mean, but I mean our cell phones do the same thing right now. We had a discussion about this.
Right.
So what's the difference? I mean, if you're trying to stay off the grid, don't own a cell phone for one,
Right.
or at least a smartphone, and don't own something like this. But I mean, if you're already
Right.
deep into this, I mean, what's one other device going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely want to kind of dive in more to this automated kind of lifestyle and assist programs or devices, and just maybe at the right price tag, and as a homeowner, I think this Roomba thing would be cool. I think Alexa would be awesome, but I also need to start upgrading my other devices in the house, where like maybe a TV, or even refrigerators now have like TV screens on them where you can, hey, I need ice, fill the
I don't
cup.
really think I need the refrigerators that use Twitter. I don't think I need to be
Right.
looking at Twitter.
Yeah, but
while
that's
I'm-
how far they're getting, But I feel like if I were to get one item, I'm going to have to upgrade a few of my other items as well, because they're going to need to be able to talk to each other.
Yeah.
So you can't just buy one thing without having compatible equipment.
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Personally, I have no clue what the point of Alexa or any home assistive device is.
I don't think there really is a point. More so like going back to the lazy thing, I guess. If you really want to listen to music and you don't want to pull out your TV, you just say, "Hey Alexa, play so and so song." If you have Prime, because Prime has their own music subscription service. But I mean, is there a point? No. Is it cool? Depends on what you use it for.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think it's like for quick, stupid questions, like that I have all the time, like what's 6 times 4? I'll ask Siri all the time. I know it's 24, but still the point is I'll ask her for, something quick that I may not know off the top of my head.
Sure.
And that's where I find it becomes helpful. But I don't know. How far does it need to go? You know what I mean? Like,
I think that really just depends on you. Like for me personally, I don't really see myself, I'm kind of on Nate's side where I don't really see myself ever buying one.
Mm-hmm.
But if you feel like you get a lot of use out of it, I mean, more power to you.
Yeah.
I'm all down for cool technology and, like we were talking about, just things that help ease life. Well, not really ease life, but like
just make it a little bit more automated, convenient.
Right, automated, convenient. I'm all down for that, but I just don't really see myself using something like that.
What about the Apple Watch?
That's, if it wasn't so pricey, I think not necessarily the Apple Watch per se, but like a smartwatch in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think they're definitely pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like I thought they were a little stupid at first, but then I got my hands on a smartwatch and I'm like, okay, now I see what the big
There's
deal
like
is.
what, 2 or 3 generations out now?
For the Apple Watch?
Of the Apple Watch, yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Because I was talking to our friend Jeff, and he was showing me his, and I was like, this thing's actually pretty sweet. Like before, the older ones, I was like, I don't want to buy this. This looks kind of clunky. It doesn't look like it operates as smoothly as I'd like it to. It's not as smooth as my phone, obviously. But the new generations that he was showing me, like his watch, the zoom in and zoom out factor was pretty nice as far as your apps and different icons you can click on. And then just, all the different things that you could have that are either, that's on your phone. You could have that on your wrist. And if you're a big watch person, I'm not wearing one now, but I usually wear a watch all the time. I think that's cool. The only downside, if he was saying, is that if you're out of range from your cell phone, you kind of lose that functionality, which I think is kind of bogus if you're going to spend...
So it's connected to your phone
Yeah,
then?
he said it's connected to your iPhone or whatever, phone you have. And then once you kind of get so far away, that Bluetooth compatibility doesn't reach, or that range is out of reach, then you start to lose all that functionality. And I think that's just kind of bogus. If you're going to spend that much money on something, maybe your phone has some sort of setup like your phone where
Does it not have Wi-Fi capabilities?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I didn't ask him. I would hope so. I
You would
that would be
especially
something...
with an Apple product like that, they would probably have Wi-Fi on the device.
It probably does, but I mean, when you're in a situation where you're separated from your phone, are you typically in a place where there is Wi-Fi anyway?
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, and I mean, how often are you going to be away from your phone?
Right.
True.
It's always on you at some point.
Yeah.
Do you know if it? I don't know if you guys know. Do you know if the apps, kind of leaving and going into a new app is as easy as it is on your phone?
Well, I've never, like I said, I've never personally used an Apple Watch, so I don't know. But on like one of the, I think it was Samsung's version of their what you would consider an Apple Watch, their version of a smartwatch, it seemed pretty seamless. But like I said, I've only played with one briefly.
Yeah. I'm thinking about picking one up. I don't know if I'll go with the brand new one just because of that price tag.
I don't ever condone buying brand new electronics.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah.
So the Apple Watch Series 3 at Macy's right now is $279. Which
I mean,
is that too much?
But here's the thing though, like if you want a good watch, like a good watch,
you're going to spend that anyway.
You're going to spend that anyway.
Right.
So that depends. Do you just want like an analog watch? Or do you want, I mean, it really just depends on you and the person. Me personally, I probably won't get one of those. I think it'd be really convenient. But there are watches that I'm looking at right now that are like around the same price anyway. So, I mean,
right.
I can't really knock on that. You know?
So you can stream a bunch of songs. It's a regular, you can make calls and texts, which a lot of people already know about all this stuff. But since I'm looking at the website, it's just kind of cool to see all this functionality. But do you guys know, I guess I could call, Verizon and ask them, does it use your data? Do you know does it use your...
I would think so if it's connected to your phone. Because like I said, I mean, if I'm thinking of it like my iPad, where I have all my notes and stuff right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is just, it's not connected to my phone. Is it connected to my phone? I think it is connected to my phone. Like, I think I can make text messages and things like that from my iPad, and it just uses my cellular stuff. Like, even on my iMac, if I get calls and it's connected to my phone, like, I can answer calls from my computer.
Right.
It's really trippy. So I would think that it just...
Like when a call would show up on your TV screen at home, like a couple years ago,
God.
you know how
No,
that was
mine-
all linked up. You know,
Mine
and it's
still
like,
does. I had to turn
Dave's
that function. Yeah, I turned that function off on my Comcast box because I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't care if people are calling my house.
Yeah.
Who still has a home phone?
Yeah. Try to
Well,
watch
with our bundle with Comcast, it was
cheaper.
It was cheaper
Yeah.
to get all three instead of just the internet and the.
Yeah, that's how they
TV.
rope you in.
Hashtag
Yep.
I call BS.
And then I was
Or
just
it was like something stupid like, it's only $10 more a month, you know?
yeah, like,
Why
come
not
on.
get it? Why
Yeah.
not
Get that
get it?
home phone out of my face.
Yeah.
So those are my thoughts, or those are just kind of what I was thinking, you know, about the home device and the Apple Watch. I think they're cool items. I definitely would want to pick one up at one point, just to maybe try it out. You know, not try it out, but obviously use it. And then when it becomes obsolete, you know, I think from there I'll decide if I want to get another one or not. But they seem cool. If you guys have them, you know, let us know what you think about them. I'd be curious to see what you have to say
let us-
about those.
Let us know in the comments
Yeah.
if you own an Apple Watch or just any sort of smartwatch, your experiences with it. Do you
Let me
like
know.
it? Do you hate it?
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah. All right, Sredy, what do we got for the next topic?
So the next topic is Shreddy's take on Suspiria.
Ooh.
Yes, like I said, one of Nady Boy's favorite films.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let
It's a
him.
classic.
Yeah, I'm gonna let him describe it. I don't have a ton of stuff to say, so this review is gonna be a little bland. But you know, I still wanted to have a discussion about it because I actually didn't see any of the new releases this week. The movies that are out right now are a little
Lackluster?
lackluster, to say the least. And
Wasted time.
yeah, and next week. So by the time this podcast is actually out, I will have not seen a movie probably in 2 weeks. I'm probably not going to see anything new until Deadpool comes out, which we will be doing for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
of course.
Deadpool review.
Well, not Steve.
Right. I'll
Yes,
see
I-
it the week after, like I
Yeah.
did Avengers.
Well, after we do Suspiria, I wasn't going to spoil that Steve saw a movie.
that's right.
Whoa.
He saw a movie.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm fading.
Unbelievable.
I'm fading away like everyone else.
He saw it after. Oh, spoilers! All right, so
It's been long enough.
we'll talk about Suspiria a little bit, and then we're not going to go into full discussion mode about Avengers again, but you know, Steve watched a movie, so we have to talk about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
All right, so Nate, take it away. Tell us a little bit about Suspiria.
Okay, so some context for Alex watching Suspiria. There is a remake coming out this year, allegedly, maybe. Some footage was shown at CinemaCon when that happened a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
And the director alleges it's more of an homage, and from the description of the footage, I would probably say that that's also true. But so Alex was interested in it, and I remember you tweeted you were trying to watch it on Amazon Prime, but they took it off, which is fine because it was a standard definition version of the movie. Well,
Which
I
would have been okay with.
yeah, but I had the wonderful, beautiful 4K transfer from Synapse Films on Blu-ray. So you get that nice, crisp, clean at 1080p video quality with the 4K transfer. So I let Alex borrow that. And basically the plot of the movie is it's about this woman named Susie Banyan who is a dancer, and she goes to a prestigious dance academy in Germany. But all is not as it seems, and there is definitely some sort of supernatural occurrences going on. And I really don't want to say too much about the movie because a lot of it, there's not a whole lot of story. It's a lot of visual storytelling.
Yes.
So saying more is just going to kind of give away a lot of the mystery of the movie. And I would just say, if that sounds interesting to you, check it out.
So let's talk about what I liked, which my list of what I liked is a little bit shorter than things that I didn't like. That's not saying bad things, but like I said, I don't have a ton of things to say about this movie, only because I don't think it's something that I could really appreciate with one view. I've only seen it once,
Yes.
and that was when Nate gave me his Blu-ray copy recently. So I think it's something I'm going to have to watch probably 2 or 3 more times to appreciate a little bit more. But just jumping right into it, let's just talk about the first thing. This thing is gorgeously shot.
Yep.
There's no doubt about it. The color palette is very bright, very...
It's unique for a horror movie.
It definitely is unique for a horror movie.
Because most horror movies take the route of dark, gray, brown, like darker colors, a little bit more neutral, and Suspiria goes red, purple, pink, like very bright, vibrant colors.
Yeah, very vibrant. They use a lot of textures as far as like the backgrounds and things like that, and the architecture. Like you would not think that, like, just if you just saw some stills of it, I don't think you would think this is a horror movie at first.
Yeah.
Unless the stills you looked at were some of its more iconic shots.
To me, the buildings and the structures and the architecture in the movie add to like the otherworldly sort of like dreamlike confusion that Susie faces throughout the movie, just because the architecture is like, I would describe it as like, it's like fantastic, like it's like old style, like 18th century European structures. So they're all like it's like very weird shapes. I don't know how to exactly explain it, but
well, there's like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of different textures and things like that. It's very hypnotizing, I guess, for lack of a better word.
That's a good one.
One of the reviews that because I tried to do a little bit of research, tried to find some analysis about what other people thought, just because, like I said, I don't think I got the full experience of this movie from the first watch.
Yeah.
So I tried to see what other people thought about it as well. And something I didn't really think about is the dreamlike aspect of the whole movie, because this movie it does have a protagonist. It focuses on this one girl, Susie, like Nate says, but there's not a lot of character development in this movie.
Right.
None of the characters really have dimensions. They're all very one-dimensional. I thought the woman who plays Susie was very good, Jessica Harper, right? Jessica Harper?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought she was very good. But like I said, most of these characters besides Susie, who has a few dimensions, they're very, very one-dimensional, but they're more... It's not really about the characters.
Right.
This is a very, very visual movie. And not only is it a visual movie, moving on to my next point, is the score is so unforgettable.
Yeah.
Like, listening to the score, I'm like, man, this movie, like, this score is going to be stuck in my brain. Like, if there's one thing I took away from this movie, it's the music. Like, it's just...
Done by famous
crazy.
70s progressive rock band Goblin, who did a lot of Italian horror movies during the 70s and 80s. Even some stuff like the international version of Dawn of the Dead. Goblin did the score for it.
Really?
It was not in the US version, but it is the international version, which makes Dawn of the Dead really awesome to me. But yeah, famous rock band. They do a lot of soundtracks, really good shit.
Yeah, the thing about this score in particular, it's not like your usual horror score.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely very fantasy-like. Like, if you think of like movies, like old fantasy movies, like that's the kind of score that they use. They don't use like, your typical you're going back to your Friday the 13th or like Halloween or anything, like no synthesizers or anything like that. It's just like very fantasy-like, and I think it adds a lot to that dreamlike aspect that I was talking about.
Yeah, the main theme of Suspiria would be something to look up. It's very interesting. Like, you get that layer of the piano that's like da 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 da, but then there's also like horrible chanting in the background that you're just like, ugh, I don't like this.
Yeah,
it's very unsettling.
Yes. So again, that is my very short list of things that I like.
Damn.
Yeah. Going into, and like I said, the things that I didn't really care for are really not that bad. It's just things that I was just like, whatever, So one of the main thing is that I felt like this was substance over story, this was style over story, more so than, having a good story and a good plot and things like that. You're not going to get this out of this movie.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily a bad thing. There's a lot of movies like that now, but I prefer a good mix of the two. So maybe that's why I didn't like love it so much on my first watch. But like I said, that's okay. I found out from watching other people's reviews that the score for this movie was written before the movie was filmed, which is kind of unorthodox for most movies. A lot of times the score is written during post-production when the composer is watching the movie and writing the music for the movie, but apparently Goblin wrote all the music before the movie was shot, and then, they just cut the movie to the music. It didn't always work, and there's a lot of jarring cuts from music back to picture. Like, it'll be like this real, like, high, intense musical moment, and then it'll just cut to silence, and it's very jarring. I feel like that is purposely done, but it just threw me off at some points, so that was a little... I didn't care for that too much, but like I said, very, very minor. I didn't really care between the mix between English and Italian.
Yeah.
I went into this movie thinking that it was just in Italian, and I was fully prepared just to watch it subtitled, but for those who don't know, they mix between English and Italian.
Pretty much how it works for a lot of Italian cinema back then was if you were an English-speaking actor in the movie, you would speak your lines in English, and if you were an Italian actor, you would speak your lines in Italian, and then later it would be dubbed all in English.
Yeah, so like all the Italian stuff was dubbed in English, so like I had to text Nate. I was like, I'm really confused. Like, is this movie in English or Italian? And they just dubbed everything. Like, I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
And then, come to find out it was a mix. So I'm guessing that I haven't seen a Sergio Leone movie, so I'm going to guess I'm probably going to have the same feelings whenever I end up watching some of those.
Stuff like Good, Bad, and the Ugly is like that. All of the, like, Clint Eastwood spaghetti westerns are like that.
Is Good, Bad, and the Ugly Sergio Leone?
I feel like it is.
I think it is, too, because I have seen that.
I'm not, fake cinema knowledge here. We could be wrong.
We could be wrong, yeah. Not 100% on that. Like I said, very minor things. And then the last thing I had to say was that the dialogue is a little silly in some places, but as mentioned before, this movie is not really about the characters or anything that's going on with them. It's more about the situation, the visuals, the music. This is very much a cinema piece versus like a story piece.
And really, the film is very influential as well for the horror genre, and not just for the horror genre, but for someone like Nicholas Winding Refn, who directed movies like Drive and Only God Forgives.
You can definitely tell the influence it had on him because he stole the iconic red and blue lighting and used it for a lot of his stuff.
Especially Neon Demon. Neon Demon is straight up just a tribute to like Italian horror cinema of the 70s.
Sure. So, my overall impressions, I definitely enjoyed it. I feel like, as I said before, I feel like if I give it a few more views, I'll definitely appreciate it a lot more, but I can definitely see its cultural influence. I definitely look forward to the 2018 version. I don't remember the director's name. It's Luca something, but he's the director of Call Me By Your Name. So I feel like it's going to be solid. Nate has some concerns about some things, and that is to be expected since he's such a fan of the movie. But I mean, that just is a byproduct of that. So who do I think will like this movie? I don't think the casual film goers, aka the Steves, will like this movie. Because if Steve were to watch this movie, I know exactly what he would say.
He'd be bored to tears.
He would be bored to tears, and he would just tell me 2 out of 5.
It's definitely for the hardcore horror fan.
You have to be a horror fanatic to appreciate this movie. So for once, on Shreddy's take, I don't think this movie is very well-rounded for everybody.
Nope.
That's fine, but like I said, it's definitely for the horror fanatics.
Yes, definitely. And I did confirm Good, Bad, and the Ugly, directed by Sergio Leone.
Okay.
So
I have seen the Sergio Leone movie.
Yes, but you probably didn't notice it at the time because it's something that you don't really pick up on unless you know to look for it.
Yeah, the first time I watched it was actually in a class at my senior year of high school, which was 10 years ago.
Nice.
And I haven't watched it since, so I probably didn't notice.
Very nice. So hopefully we'll be able to talk about the remake of Suspiria down the road when that eventually gets released.
I'm definitely looking forward to that. So if I had to give it a score, I didn't, I forgot to give it a score, so I don't have anything clever to rate it. What's something in the movie? All right, I'm gonna give it. I'll give it 7 out of 10 razor wires.
There we go. Yeah,
that
the
work for
razor
you?
wire scene. That's
That
usually
scene is so ridiculous.
that's usually where I lose most people when I show them Suspiria is the razor wire
I won't
scene.
lie, that scene did lose me
Yeah.
briefly. Like, it didn't bother me, but I'm just like,
It's
really?
yeah, it's out of nowhere. You're like, why is there a room filled with razor wire?
Yeah.
And you can clearly tell that it's not razor wire. It's very obviously just
Yeah, I had to do like a double take. I'm like, is this supposed to be razor wire? And then,
Yeah.
sorry, getting into spoiler territory, but somebody's getting cut up with his razor wire.
It was 1977. I
mean,
give him a pass.
It works because the dance academy is, I don't want to say haunted, but there's a lot of supernatural things going, so
Yes.
it's not completely unreasonable, but it's just like when I was talking about the music just dropping. It's very, very, that scene is very jarring.
Yeah.
Like, no joke.
I will give you the razor wire scene.
Yes. Okay, so moving on, Steve, you watched the Avengers.
I did.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And you listened to our discussion about it, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
so let's hear Steve's take on Avengers.
Okay.
Infinity War.
Yeah. Josh Brolin, super awesome.
Yeah.
He was probably, like you guys mentioned in the podcast last week, or the last episode rather. I'm glad the bad guy came through. Like you guys have said, the good guy always wins and blah blah blah. It's just a very copy and paste kind of feel. And I've always wanted movies that have a bad guy and a good guy. I wanted the bad guy to just win for once. I wanted him to kind of, put his stamp on the movie and, kind of crush the audience in the respect that it didn't go as planned.
Right.
And
And it's the first time this has ever happened, really. Like,
Yeah.
I can't name one Marvel movie where the villain wins at the end.
yeah. So, that was kind of like, as you guys said, it was refreshing. It was nice to see that there were some stakes in the movie. I definitely feel like that was something that I had wanted to see for a while, and it finally pulled through. Other aspects of the movie that I thought were kind of iffy was
Are we getting into spoiler territory?
No, I think you guys mentioned it, where there was a fight scene, and after the fight scene was over, you saw Iron Man and... See, I don't even know all the guys' names. His partner, he also has the Iron Man suit.
Spider-Man?
No.
He's talking about
War Machine.
War
John
Machine,
Cheadle.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, his
I was
character.
like,
I
what?
drew a
Don't feel
blank on
bad.
his-
I don't remember his name
Yeah,
either.
but when they had their helmets off, it looked bad.
Yeah, the CG.
The floating head.
Yeah.
as they
Floating
called
head
it.
syndrome.
Yeah, there you go, floating heads. So that was just really bad CGI.
Do they have-
I was just kind of disappointed by that because
$300 million movie.
well, exactly. I feel like they have a pretty good team, at least I would imagine so over there, and I just feel like that should have looked a lot better. The one scene that was really awesome to me was when, hopefully you've seen the movie now. I'm just going to go ahead and say
Who
it.
hasn't seen this
Right.
movie, like, for real?
Spoilers. Ho!
Yeah, when the chick from the Guardians of the Galaxy...
Gamora.
No, the other one with the antlers.
Oh,
Mantis.
Mantis.
Yeah, when she
okay.
jumps
you guys.
on Thanos and she's, doing the sleep dream thing to him, like his makeup, everything, that looked really good. I don't even know if that was CGI. That's how good it looked to me.
It was CGI for sure.
It looked
Wait,
good.
for Mantis or
No,
Thanos.
for Thanos.
For Thanos,
Thanos' character, when he's like kind of screaming and he's dreaming, all that looked really good on him. Like it looked as if it was real.
One of the big things I'm going to give Marvel a lot of credit for, especially not necessarily just for all the CG in the movie, because we've already talked about this, but I think one of the biggest selling points for Thanos' CG is all of the shadowing. Because if you
Yes.
pay attention real close to all the shadows that appear on Thanos, I think that's what really helps sell,
Yeah.
his whole face. you
Yeah,
know?
I was in.
Agreed.
I was as soon as I saw him. You've seen him the teaser trailer 6 years ago, and I was like, dude, this guy is going to be awesome. And then when they brought him into the movie, and he was obviously one of the main points of the movie, so he was throughout the whole thing. He looked awesome. Just every scene that he was in, I just thought was cool. Maybe the mountain scene, maybe a little bit too much CGI when he throws Gamora over as a sacrifice. I thought that scene was, for him, was a little It could have been better, but we're nitpicking at this point.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought his character was awesome. I liked, just the makeup, the CGI of it all, or the way the CGI of him was.
He was 100% CGI the whole movie.
Yeah. So as far as the story goes, I mean, you had the two stories kind of, in separate, sections of the movie. You had, the Guardians and Tony Stark, and then you had Black Panther and all those other guys kind of, up against Thanos one-on-one. I just thought that it played well. I'm glad that they didn't throw everyone all in one scene. I just felt like that was going to be too much. The scenes, though, that I didn't like was, the Black Widow one-liners. The scene when they were at the beginning of the movie where they're at the Avengers headquarters. I thought some of those, everyone had to say at least something was kind of silly.
Yeah.
And I want Ant-Man in the movie. I'm a big Paul Rudd fan.
Well,
so I'm sorry, I'm upset that he wasn't in it. But
I feel like that was done purposely.
Right.
I mean, it could have been not purposely. I don't really have any. I don't work there, so I don't know what the story plans are for him.
Which, side note, did you guys watch the latest Ant-Man and Wasp trailer?
I do. I don't really remember it, but I did watch
Not really.
it.
I'm pretty hyped.
Yeah,
I'm ready for some more Paul Rudd in my life.
exactly.
See, I didn't really like the first one.
I thought it was awesome. I just love Paul Rudd.
I'm gonna watch it again, just because I know I'm gonna go see it.
My beef with Ant-Man 1 was just Marvel dogging Edgar Wright.
Yeah,
that could have
that's
literally
such a disappointment.
No.
Would have actually been, without a doubt in my mind, the best Marvel movie, period.
Probably.
No.
I think my biggest problem too is that I watched it overnight, so I probably started at like 1 o'clock, and I watched it in a theater, and
it's like when we watched Bridge of Spies.
Yeah, it was exactly like that experience. Like, this movie was just putting me to sleep. Like, I had to like get up and walk around because I'm by myself, so who cares? But like, I was getting up and walking around, like leaving the theater, like I'm gonna go get some drink, and I'm just gonna go walk around different seats. So like, I had to keep myself awake for that movie.
Yeah.
Nice. So Steve, final thoughts on Infinity War. What did you think?
Yeah, I liked it. I was very, very impressed. I think with it being a 2-hour and 45-minute movie, something like that.
Altogether, it was 2.5.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it. I felt like it was very well paced. I like all the action, and Thanos just really sold it for me. Like, I really root for the bad guys in these kind of superhero movies. Like the Joker, Bane. I know it's a different universe, but I root for those guys to do some damage and kind of mess up everyone's. Oh, here comes the good guy. He's gonna save the day. I'm just kind of glad that Thanos did what he did.
About damn time, Marvel.
So as far as a final rating, because you guys gave yours last week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot what did we call it? I think you said Infinity Gauntlet. Oh, I said Thanos chins.
Thanos chins. I don't remember what I said.
Yeah. You said Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Gauntlets.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give it probably 4 out of 5. It was good. I liked it.
I almost thought you were gonna say 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10 Infinity Stones.
Yeah, like I really liked it, but I mean, it was a piece of shit. Let's be honest.
Straight up like praising the movie and then just goes, 4 out of 10.
All right, going back, still talking about Avengers a little bit. The meme game for this movie is
awesome.
So
it's
strong.
So good, yeah.
Like, I don't know, did you guys see the one today with the glove, like the work glove and the brownie?
Yeah, the brownie.
Dude,
that was awesome.
I was rolling when I saw that. I'm like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
It's a yellow work glove with 2 cosmic brownies. If you know what a cosmic brownie is, with 2 cosmic brownies on the knuckles. And that was the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Dude.
That one was great. The one I will say, I'm sick and tired of the I don't feel so good meme. That came and went for me. Like, I was like, oh, this is funny. And then I was like, okay, this is instantly.
It is a little overdone.
The Tony the Tiger one, I thought that was funny.
I didn't see the Tony the Tiger one.
I don't feel so great. And he's like turning into cornflakes. It's super awesome.
I will say
hilarious.
the Windows 98 one that you posted today was really good.
that
Because you
one
don't
is
even have to
hilarious.
edit that.
You don't have to edit
It's
that.
already the meme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the Flavor Town one of Thanos.
Okay.
Did you see that one? The
No.
Guy Fieri
Yeah, it's
Flavor
like,
Town
it's
one?
Thanos, but it's Guy Fieri. He's got like the goatee and the sunglasses.
Better not. Hope he doesn't catch all the flavor stones.
I've got a really inappropriate Thanos meme that I'm going to show you guys after the podcast.
No.
No.
Let's see
It's
it now.
part of the podcast.
Because we need this reaction. This is quality podcasting
You guys are going to
material.
hate this.
All right.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
so
let's see it.
I'm going to share the meme right now. It's
Oh boy. Okay, so what I'm witnessing right now.
Whoa.
Have you guys seen? And this is me asking the audience. I guess I could be asking you guys as well. But have you guys watched the classic movie The Watchmen?
Oh, yes.
Steve,
Yeah, I know that.
turn and look at me.
Damn.
So basically, what I'm seeing is, if you guys are familiar with Dr. Manhattan,
Yes.
he's a very big boy
Yeah, he is.
in more than one place. So basically, picture a purple Dr. Manhattan where you're seeing all the goods, and Nate just pulled up a picture of that. So
I'm sorry. I
Oh,
apologize
man.
for that one.
I wish
Okay,
we
so quick
now I wish we
question
had
though
video.
with the Avengers, and this is obviously going into spoiler territory. So, like you said, everyone has had to seen it. And if you haven't, too bad.
Yeah, you had your chance. It's been 3
Scarlet
weeks.
Witch and Vision, is that his name?
Yes.
Okay, are they? They seem to be the most formidable opponent, along with Doctor Strange against Thanos.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch definitely is turbo powerful. Vision, of course, also turbo powerful.
Why
but
was he so weak in this movie?
Because that's a thing with Marvel movies, is that a lot of heroes, their powers are inconsistent throughout movies. For instance, like Doctor Strange, big time nerf for Infinity War.
Yeah, there was too
like
many.
he was super strong in his own movie, and then he comes to Infinity War, he's not as strong. That happens a lot.
I thought the fight scene against him and Thanos though was pretty.
Yeah, where he like multiplies
Yeah,
himself.
and then all the stuff that he was able to kind of do to avoid damage, I thought was really good. But
I think it just depends on what movie you're watching. Obviously, like Thor is much more powerful now
Yeah.
than he's ever been. So it just really depends.
okay,
But yeah,
It's going back to what we were talking about last week with some of the terrible decisions that some characters make.
Yeah.
They are doing these things because it helps progress the story. And like I said, we don't always agree with those things.
yeah.
I mean, I get it, but, you know.
So does this movie follow along pretty well with the comics? I would ask you, Nate, because I don't know. I don't know if this.
not really.
No. Okay.
The concept similar, but
Mm-hmm.
when you compare Infinity War to the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, pretty much completely different.
I had a friend who was talking to me about it a little bit. I don't know anything about the story, and this isn't really getting to just into spoiler territory, but he was telling me that the Infinity Gauntlet storyline falls more into the lap of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Correct? Yeah.
It's kind of like in the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, it's like hundreds of heroes and villains versus Thanos, because he's so powerful. No one, like, not even villains can do anything to stop him, and even the villains are like, okay, this guy sucks. Like, let's all team up and
Take
work
him out.
together.
Yeah.
See, that would have been really cool.
Yeah, it is like a giant event. Like almost every single Marvel hero and villain appears at some point in Infinity Gauntlet.
So we're gonna have obviously the next movie comes out same time next year.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the title of that one?
I think it's
It's
just
not-
Infinity War Part 2.
It hasn't been released. I feel like I read something where the Russo brothers said that they don't want to tell you what the title of Avengers 4 is because it's kind of a spoiler, I guess. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but
Avengers Infinity War. Nobody comes back.
guess what? They're all dead for real. Okay, bye.
All right. See ya. Thanks for your money. So the fading away kind of thing at the end.
What about it?
What's up with that?
I don't know. They're going to come back.
Okay.
I feel like everyone that faded away into dust is 100% coming back. There's no way.
I feel like that's kind of part of like their reality thing that he was able to
Right.
control. Like he's taking them to a different. Yeah, he's taking them.
Maybe not intentionally, but I feel like unintentionally, yeah, maybe like everyone that, disappeared the last time ends up going to maybe like some sort of like purgatory or something, and they're just all there until, whoever Avengers are left, it's like the core team,
Right.
figure out a way to bring everyone back.
Who's the chick with Nick Fury?
That was
That was-
Maria Hill.
Yeah,
From what movie?
isn't she just part of the SHIELD team?
Yeah, she's just part of the SHIELD team.
Okay.
She's not a hero. She's just one of the top, higher up SHIELD agents.
Wasn't she mostly in the Captain America movies?
Yeah, she's in the
Okay.
Cap movies.
She's the chick from the.
How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
She looked familiar, and I was like, I think I know her,
Yeah.
but I didn't
So-
really know her story. All right. Cool.
Avengers.
Not a huge character.
Yeah.
I was very surprised to see her brought back. I was very surprised to see Samuel L. Jackson come back.
Yeah.
But,
The pager, is that Captain Marvel?
Correct.
Okay.
Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Very much looking
Brie
forward to
Larson.
that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get my... Because I don't know. There's so many characters. I think after the second Iron Man, I was very I pick and choose which movies I watched.
And honestly, like we
So-
talked about this last week too, you just really got to watch the core movies, like the first ones, and you pretty much are going to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, all right, cool. So that's our thoughts on, or that's my thoughts on the Avengers.
Sweet. It's nice having a discussion with the three of us
What
about a movie.
What's the next movie we have to make sure I see before
Deadpool
2?
Will you see
Okay.
Deadpool? Did you watch the first one?
Yes. I have. I'm probably gonna watch it as a refresher and then watch
Sure.
the second part down in Florida because that's where I'll be when
Nice.
this.
Yeah. So
when
we'll
this
save.
comes out.
If you actually watch it, I'll save my Deadpool review for when you come back. Because for those that don't know, Nate and I are probably going to be podcasting alone again for our next one because Steve is going out of town for work
Yes.
for a week.
Yeah.
Going on a trip.
Going on a little
Little
trip.
trip down to Florida for 2 weeks.
Yep.
Let's place our bets now, though. I'm willing to bet Steve doesn't see Deadpool 2.
No, I want to
TV.
make it a point because, as Alex said, the three of us, it's a little better than me just kind of sitting over here in the corner.
And what else is he gonna do in Florida?
I'd like it to be an assignment, not so much like I have to go.
All right,
see,
Steve. Your homework for this week is to watch Deadpool.
Exactly. So
And
then
if
I
you
can,
don't,
right?
fired.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
off.
you're fired.
You're off the podcast.
All right. So moving on to our main topic today: how to get out of a creative rut.
Ooh.
Hey,
This was Steve's choice of topic for this week.
Yeah.
Steve's pick.
So why don't you kind of start us off?
All right. So as you guys know, a lot of my my channel, Yalla TV. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'd greatly appreciate it.
Smash it.
Yeah, get
Smash that like button.
Smash that like. We just broke 100 subs. Thank you to the small community. I appreciate all of you guys.
Clapping sound effect.
Yes. Basically, during the winter months, I'll do beer reviews, and then as the summer months roll around, we get into a little bit more of outdoors fishing content. So I have a little bit, 2 different hobbies on my channel that I like to share with people. And it's generally around this time where I kind of get into a rut where I'm doing really good with one item or another. In this case, it was the beer reviews. Things are going really well. All the new releases are coming out. We're picking
Yeah.
those up at the local liquor store. And then it's warm again, and it's time to go fishing. And I don't want to do either one. What's my problem? So I've basically fallen into a little bit of a rut lately, and I was telling Nate prior to the podcast going live here, or before recording, that this past Sunday, and what's today, the 8th, whatever this, a couple days ago.
Yeah, the 8th.
The 8th. So the Sunday before the 8th, I didn't have my Sunday beer review for my viewers to watch at 8:30 Central Standard Time. There was no review this week, and I was kind of fine with that. I almost felt like I needed a break from doing. I've done 52 beer reviews in a little less than 4 or 5 months. I mean, it's a lot of.
Don't feel bad. I don't think I've ever made 52 videos ever.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's fun, but now that it's warm out, I'm trying to learn, and this is the first time I've really kind of got into it. Is I need to learn how to balance the two without getting bored of one and not the other.
I think that taking a break is definitely fine. Like, I mean, the YouTube algorithm, they pretty much set you up for burning out. That's probably why a lot of YouTubers end up very unhappy.
Yeah.
Because they're having to crank out content weekly, twice a week, some 3 times a week. And, for those Jake Paulers out there, they're cranking out videos daily. That's very, very exhausting. And you only have so much creativity in you to be able to crank out content like that before it just becomes shit, for lack of a better word.
And I don't want to put out content just because. I want it to be good. I do have some summer goals which we'll talk about here in a few minutes about, with my channel. But, with being a homeowner, it's all those different responsibilities that aren't there during the wintertime are now back. So now, yard maintenance, house maintenance, all that kind of stuff along with work. And then you got the family at home. Beer reviews kind of get pushed off to the side, even though I kind of have my channel very high on my priority list. I want to keep that going. It's just kind of tough right now. And with this 2-week break that I'll be on, I almost feel like I don't want to put anything out until I come back in June.
It might actually be better if you just didn't, because okay, so especially with me, I find that I need to, if I'm just not having a good time with this, or if I'm just putting out bad content or just bad writing or anything like that, I just stop. But sometimes it's very, very difficult to get back into it because you get into that routine, whereas, this isn't your job. This is just something you do as a hobby. So if you don't make it a priority again, it's very difficult to get back into it.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why it took me 4 years to write Cashing Out, is because I'd be super into it. I get writer's block, and then I'm like, all right, I need to take a couple weeks off of that. And then a couple weeks turn into 4 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, and I think what you mentioned, just getting burned out of that consistent schedule kind of puts a damper on things when you kind of fall out of that routine. And, I don't know if you guys at OOTB run into this, but, it just seems like to be on top or be in that algorithm, even though we're a small channel, I feel it's important to kind of stay consistent. How do you guys do it over there?
For us, the burnout has been very real many times. Specifically, when we were doing the podcast on a weekly basis, the burnout was bad, and we would take weeks off. We would take months off. We did take months off. We took a really long time off between the podcast and then when we started doing the shorter YouTube videos. But for us, typically we just kind of stop. Like, if I'm speaking for myself, like something that I do consistently that's usually only me on the channel are the figure reviews, and I definitely get burnt out on that. And I'll just stop. Like, I just won't review anything for a while. And what I'll do is I'll just try and do something else. Like, something else that's still related to the channel, but not quite what we've normally been doing. But usually that ends up, most of the time it works or it doesn't. And something like a weird random video we did recently was like the opening the Pokemon cards.
Yeah, I actually love that video.
Like, I thought
because it was different.
That was a really fun video to make. The reactions were genuine, but like, no one watched it because it was a little bit different. It was a little bit outside of the box. But that was the thing where we were like, okay, like, I don't just want to do another movie review. I don't just want to look at another figure. I want to do something a little different.
Right.
So at the same time, it's like, yeah, that video, we had a lot of fun, but then no one cared on our channel. So then it was back to like, oh, well, guess we're not going to do that again because no one gave a shit.
Yeah.
And then that becomes discouraging in itself when you're like, okay, let me try something new. Okay, our audience doesn't care.
Yeah, I think for me too, with some of the content I've been putting out, a lot of it is local. So a lot of like the bigger beer community, and I say this as it's nothing wrong, but breweries that have a bigger reach will get more views as far as reviews go. So some of my, beer reviews that are from Founders or, Great Divide or, some of the bigger companies out there, Oscar Blues, those will get, I got 300 or 400 views on one of my videos for a beer that everyone can get. If I do something that's around here in the Chicagoland area, I maybe get 15, 20 views. And
Right.
it's like, man, is it really worth all this time for 15 people to watch it? But again, like we've mentioned in previous episodes, some of the people that I've become, I guess, quote, friends with online, those people kind of keep me motivated. Like every time, I think it's Tuesday and Thursday, Sean from Draft Therapy will post a video, and I'm like, hey, that's around here. I could probably pick that up and try it. He usually gets his beers a week before we do, and I'll see his review. I'm like, oh yeah, I want to give my review on that beer. And he kind of like his videos and some of the other people out of Rhode Island, they kind of keep me going because they're both, all three of us are small channels, but they kind of keep that drive going to, just keep putting it out, keep doing that content.
Yeah.
And, the audience is there. There's, I have, like I said, it's a small audience, but people are asking me, hey, what's next? Hey, what's new? It's usually through Instagram because I'll post my pictures on there and stuff of my beer reviews that I do. So there's people watching, and I don't want to give up on them per se, but I kind of need a little bit of a break, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and I don't want to forget anybody, but I also kind of need to take a step back and take time for me also,
And I will definitely say that, damn the algorithm, but there's nothing worse than trying to force content.
Right.
There have been some terrible, terrible experiences in my case where we've just made like a video and we're all just visibly like not about it. And it'll get to the point where I'll sit down to edit it and I'll just delete it. I'm just like, nope, like this is bad. We look miserable. We sound miserable. So it's good to not force it, because when you force it, that's when like the cracks start to show.
Yeah.
And of course, with it just being a hobby and not being our livelihood, I definitely think there's a different aspect to that. Because if it was our livelihood, then, then you have the added pressure of like, okay, I need to get paid. So I feel like in that regard, it's better for people like us with our small channels where we're not like dependent on that's like our source of income. So we can take those breaks. We don't have to worry about it. Like,
right.
Sure, our audience could be disappointed, but if you just explain yourself and let everyone know what's going on, I feel like people should be understanding and be like, okay, well,
I think there's a huge difference between just completely going off the grid and doing exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
Like, I remember watching the H3 video recently, like the podcast, where he was talking about wanting to just take a week off, not going anywhere, but just a staycation essentially, and just not doing anything. I think that's important, and just letting people know, like, hey, I'm burnt out. I need a break from all this. People are understanding of that. I mean, you're going to get a couple assholes here and there who are just like, no, give me content right now.
Yeah.
But you got to take care of yourself, because if you don't, then you're going to start going crazy, and then you're just going to drop off the grid and, just start doing weird things and making weird content. Like, it's going to be weird, like seeing Steve completely sleep deprived, reviewing like wine or something like that instead of,
wait a minute,
all right guys, check out this new beer.
Yeah.
And he just starts chugging a bottle of wine. Is this what you wanted, YouTube? This is what you want from me?
I
don't have any beer anymore.
Bottle of Pinot Grigio barefoot from Walmart. It was $9.
And we're just going to crack this bitch open and just go balls deep.
Yeah. But
so with that said, obviously there's a little bit, we all experience it. I guess what's keeping me wanting to keep going, keep the drive going, is I feel like I've put so much time into it. Once I've committed to it, it's only been about a year now, or a little over a year. I feel like I've put so much time into it that I don't want to just say, see ya, and leave.
Yeah.
Once you started, it's very hard to stop.
Yeah, and I still enjoy it. I still, again, small channel, but I'm having fun doing it. And I'm meeting cool people across, the country, from all areas, really. And that's the part I feel for me is like a little bit, that's worth it. That's really kind of what I feel is kind of driving me, is meeting these new people who are, they have the same hobbies as me. They like the same beers. They like to kind of talk about the same different things. So it keeps that drive going. And that's why I have a bunch of things this summer that I want to do for my channel. I actually want to meet up with Sean at, from Draft Therapy. We've talked briefly about meeting sometime in the summer, going up to Founders and doing some video work there if we're allowed to. I'm not sure how that all works. But I have some summer things that I want to do. I want to do an outside deck series, beer on the deck at the house. Just because you can enjoy the weather now. Give it a little bit of a different feel, instead of being in the studio.
Just got to watch that audio quality.
Yeah, I watch that wind. So Good thing I got this thing on.
Those lav mics.
So, I have a lot of different ideas. I want to go do some on-site stuff in Michigan with, with some other YouTubers, and I just different things I want to do. It's summertime. There's a lot of good summertime beer out there, and then obviously the other side of the channel is some fishing spots. I want to go to some spots that I haven't been to before, whether that's, in Michigan or Southern Indiana, or maybe I'll do something when I'm gone for 2 weeks in Florida. If I could do some content there, I think that'll kind of really turn things around for me to kind of get back into the groove of things.
Yeah, it's good to sort of have that like break, but then also maybe do something a little bit different.
Yeah,
that will
kind of give you that inspiration.
Yeah, it gives you that little break.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this then: do you guys do anything outside, like when you're in this creative rut? Do you find you have certain habits you try to keep up with that are not content related when you're in these ruts? Because I know for me, for instance, I like to try and do other things. Like right now, I've actually recently picked up a new hobby where I'm learning how to play chess. It's something, where I'm able to train my brain and I'm able to think about things and I have to think creatively about, what moves I'm going to make or things like that. I've been playing video games recently, which is something that I never do, but I've been playing my Nintendo DS a lot. So, I've been getting back into that. So, like, I tried to do other things that are not movie related. I mean, I obviously watch a lot. Like, if I'm in a creative rut, I'll watch like 15,000 movies to try and find that inspiration again, and I usually do. But I also try to do a lot of other things as well that are not related to movies to try and get me back into the mindset. I think mostly because, like, I'll miss it eventually. So I'm like, all right, I need to get back into this. But it also helps me stay sharp too, which I think is really important. So do you guys do anything like that?
Yeah, for me, when I'm feeling a little burnt out on, because it kind of all happens at once. Like when it happens to me, I'll get burnt out on YouTube. I'll get burnt out on like watching movies or like playing video games. I'll get burnt out on all of them at like the same exact time. And just nothing sounds appealing to me. And that's when I usually turn to reading. And I'll either read comic books or just a normal book, or I'll just research something that I'm just like mildly interested in. Because I don't do a lot of reading. I wish I did more reading, but just finding the drive and the time to sit down and read something in its entirety is really hard, especially with the distractions of,
Yeah, funny enough, I do all of my reading at the gym, either like on a treadmill or walking on the track or something like that. Like it's the only time I can find myself having the time to read, because if I'm doing cardio, I'm doing this super boring thing. So reading makes it at least mildly interesting.
Are you reading are you actually reading, or are you doing like audiobooks?
No, I'm reading.
Okay, wow.
Like I can legit run and like read a book. Yeah. Like I know it's weird, but like
props to you, my friend.
I'm so like ADHD when it comes to reading, because my reading comprehension level is super low. So I get distracted real easily. So if I'm doing something like intense, I'm already doing this thing that's distracting so I can focus on the reading. I'm so weird. But
that's why we love you.
Yeah, it makes sense though. But yeah, I usually try and just do something that's like completely opposite that I like doing, but I just don't do often. And then that usually sort of gives me that nice like peace of mind, like I'm focusing on this. Another thing I do is I normally just collect like regular action figures, but if I'm in a rut or something like that, I'll go out and I'll buy like a model kit of something, and then I'll put together a model. And it's just super time consuming, but it's also just like super therapeutic to me to just sit there quietly. I don't have anything on and I'm just focused on building the model kit. And it's just something to like sort of bring my thoughts back down to reality and just sort of, give me a nice break, because also building a model is super time consuming. So
no, that definitely makes sense. I mean, that kind of goes back to what I was saying about like the games or, anything, the working out or just walking. Like you're keeping yourself distracted with things that you like. And, I think that is super important to the process because it brings you back eventually.
Yeah. With me, I know a lot of the stuff that I do because of my equipment is time consuming. If I had better equipment, I don't think I would take so long doing some of this editing and uploading and all that. But all that stuff eats up time. So when I do take those breaks, for me, a lot of it is just, spending time, honestly, with my wife, with Ashley. And it's cool because she's very supportive about it. And like on the last episode, you guys talked about strong women in your lives. And I thought that was cool that you guys brought that up, and all the different people that are in your life that are that person for you. And that's what she is for me. And it's just cool because, I don't know how many people out there, how many wives are cool with having their husbands sit around all week and drink beer and then put it up on YouTube. It just sounds silly, but she's cool with it, and it's like, when I take that time away, like what we're doing now, because I haven't put up anything, and by the time you guys hear this, it'll be about 2 weeks. She's like, it's okay to kind of take a break. It's okay to not do that stuff right now. We can do something else, and then you can kind of get back into it. So it's kind of like she gives me like that, it's okay, take your break, but get back to it. Like it's
good that you have somebody that
And
is definitely supportive of it, but that will also like push you to do it.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of people like they'll be supportive about it, but if you're not doing it, they're like, oh, whatever. But
Yeah.
it's cool that she's like, you should get back into it because I know this is something that you love to do.
Yeah, and she knows that I like doing it. It's definitely a hobby, and it's cool to have that kind of support, and that understanding that, hey, I'm gonna drink beer on a Tuesday afternoon. I hope you're okay with it.
I
Most
think it's
people
a
are
little
like,
bit, I think it's a little better than you'd be like, hey babe, look at me drinking beer on YouTube.
right? Yeah, and and she understands it, so it's a little bit different than just drinking beer. You know what I mean? It's more of, what does this beer have to offer, yada yada yada. So
You're not drinking to get drunk.
exactly, yeah, you're drinking for the taste, and that's
Drinking with purpose, Steve.
right. You guys need to know what I'm tasting. All right, it's important that you hear it.
Yes.
So there's that, and then for another thing for me is just literally just music. Old music from high school. Playing the drums. We need to get together soon, Nate, and do this. Just
down.
jamming out on the drums is for me a good stress reliever, a good kind of bring you back and unwind kind of moment. Just music and smashing those drums. It's good.
It's funny that you mentioned that because right before I came to do the podcast, I was shooting an out of the basement video, and the video was just not going the way that I wanted. Tons of technical issues. My camera kept falling over, and it was just horrible. And like I kept getting phone calls, and I record the videos on my phone, and I
Turn that on airplane mode.
Yeah, no, I usually do, but I had forgotten, which it was my fault this time. But it was just like completely frustrated me, and I was just like, okay, like fuck this, I'm not doing the video anymore. And I just scrapped the idea, and Bucky was over, and I was like, dude, let's just jam. And we jammed. We just played music for like a half hour. I felt so much better after that. I was just like, all right, there we go. That's all I needed.
Yeah. It's just like when people go to the movies to kind of that escapism. Like that's what music is for me. And going to that other area or the other dimension where you can really just zone out, kind of take a break from things, take a step back. It really helps you, and that's kind of what I'm doing. I've been my Pandora has been playing nonstop at the house. And it's usually not because I'm either doing something else, like recording, a review.
Hey Alexa, can you play Nirvana right now?
Yeah, exactly.
What's Steve's favorite song? Man Who Sold the World.
Yeah, exactly.
He always plays that song.
Great song. So, and they actually played today, but those things kind of help you. We all have our own vices that we kind of grab onto, and I think that's kind of what brings you back, and it kind of helps you keep going. So.
I can definitely attest to the music. I definitely listen to a lot of music, and that's definitely one of my biggest inspirations for my writing and things like that. Like a music video that I did for a friend a couple of years ago, like I just listened to that song and then I created a story out of that. So I can definitely agree with that. And also playing music, I definitely don't play music as often as you guys, but I'm trying to learn how to play the piano, and I haven't played in probably 6 months, and now that I'm thinking about that kind of depresses me because like I can pick it up like real fast. Like I don't remember what any of the keys are. Like I couldn't tell you like which ones are the A keys or the D keys or anything like that, but I can probably play the Jurassic Park theme or
nice.
Something silly like that. I can't play a song all the way through, and I'm like really, it's like something I've been trying to work at. But the movie, like I feel like, and I'm wondering if you guys feel the same way too, that once you are doing like videos and things like that, like you're so consumed with that's all you do sometimes, and that's part of the burnout.
Yeah. Like for me, I do a lot of my videos. I'll do maybe 2 or 3 recordings in a day. And again, my equipment is slow, so that's 6 hours of just video time, editing, uploading. And by the time I'm done, I feel like I was at work all day, and it's just, it draws you out, of everything else that's going in around you. So
Yep.
It's very
tough.
hard to sit around because, a lot of video making, especially with our content, because you're just sitting at your computer reviewing, you're just sitting at, in the basement, reviewing or talking or whatever. For me, I'm not sitting on set, but when I'm editing, that's literally all it is just me sitting around at a computer, and it sucks. Like there's no sugarcoating it. Editing sucks, especially like when you're doing it for hours a day. Like I find one of my bad habits that I have is that I will only edit probably for 10 to 20 minutes, and then I will go and do something else for an hour. Where it should be reversed, where I'm like, all right, today I'm going to edit for an hour, then I'll do something for 20 minutes. But like, for instance, yesterday, one of the things I'm doing right now with cashing out, since the picture's done, I'm done cutting the picture, is I am extracting all the dialogue from all the background sound, because I need to do a lot of sound effect work and things like that. So I'm trying to separate the dialogue from all that so I can see what's missing. It probably would have taken me an hour to do everything that I needed to do yesterday, but I ended up playing the solitaire game on my phone for an hour and a half, or not on my phone, my DS for an hour and a half instead of editing.
Nice.
Yeah, I was so consumed with it because I'm like, I don't want to sit at my computer right now.
Yeah, I definitely feel you.
So back to, did you guys have any goals for this summer for the page, or for the channel rather?
I mean, we're still trying to crack 1,000 subs. We definitely hit another rut, which I talked about on the last episode, so I won't get super in depth about that. But 1,000 subs is obviously where we're at. We're around like 820 something. I don't know off the top of my head, but I hope to get to 1,000 subs in at least 2 months. That's what I would suspect.
Out of the
maybe.
basement merch?
Out of the basement merch?
No. We're not doing the merch. I like.
What is it about merch you're so against? Because we've talked about this off podcast before.
I just don't
I'm curious.
think, like, I don't know.
You just don't think anybody will buy it?
No, it's not that. I just don't. I like having like something that's like interesting on the shirt. That's not just like, logo.
Right.
Like copy saved logo. And I do agree, like having a shirt that just says out of the basement would be cool, but that's pretty much the only thing we could do. Like, we don't have a logo for the channel. We don't have something like that. Mm-hmm. We have a brick wall.
Right.
Like, a brick wall is not exactly something that you just want to put on a t-shirt.
I like your guys' new intro where it's the out of the basement in the black and white lettering, or, the white lettering with the black surround. I think that looks really sharp. I think that would be cool on a t-shirt.
Yeah, and I agree. But that would be our one t-shirt, and that would be it. And it would be a black shirt with white text on it. Like, how interesting.
That's exactly why I didn't do just the plain cashing out
right
t-shirt. Like, I have the hoodie that just says cashing out, but I'm like, I don't really think this is going to sell. And of course, as soon as I put the link up, somebody's like, why didn't you do a shirt that just says cashing out? And I'm like, seriously?
Yeah, people want that.
Right?
Apparently.
It's weird, but yeah, for me, I'm usually more of like a little bit, like if we did merch for Out of the Basement, I wouldn't want it to necessarily be like Out of the Basement. I would just want it to be like clothes that we would like to wear that we're like, hey, you can also buy this.
You should do some sort of Teddy Fresh inspiration with your
right,
Out of the
like
Basement.
something like that. Exactly. Yeah. Is like, I would want to do something that's like, is me, like it's my ideas, but it's not necessarily related to the channel.
Right.
And to clarify what I said about the merch, in case somebody calls me out, like, why don't you just put up that shirt? Why can't you have more than 5 items? Well, the reason why I only have 5 items on my store is because through the website Big Cartel, who is hosting my store, I can only sell 5 items for free. Otherwise, I have to start using a monthly subscription service. Mm-hmm. And if people don't buy my merch, it doesn't really make sense for me to start paying for a store
right.
to host all this.
Yeah, there's a lot of back end costs that I feel like a lot of people don't realize. Looking on the outside of like running some sort of online business,
Yeah, so I tried to think, like, I thought people would want like cool graphic design tees and things like that, like something like you're not just getting this plain ass logo. So I tried to do some artwork to up the quality, I guess.
Nice.
The marketability of it.
Yeah, the Jack of Hearts shirt is worth getting. So all of you listening out there,
the
pick
Jack
yourself
of Hearts,
up.
I really like that logo. Took forever for me to design because I originally wanted it to look like the actual Jack of Hearts card. Like, I had this design where...
Were there copyrights with that or no? Like
I
any issues with that?
I used, not really royalty free.
You copied it.
But
I am the walrus.
I was able to use, like, it was a commercial... I was able to use it for commercial purposes. So I tried to, like, a lot of it's my design, like the figure of Jackie, which that's how I came up with the Jack of Hearts, is the character Jackie. That was something that I actually designed myself. So like I didn't take that from anything, but like, the jack and the heart and like the red squiggly line, whatever you want to call that.
Right.
Like I got those images from commercial free, or I could use it for commercial purposes.
Right.
Nice.
All right. So back to Nate. 1,000 subs. That's the goal.
Yeah, 1,000
Anything
subs. I believe we're going to try and make another. We're gonna do attempt number 2 at a short film over the summer.
Okay.
Nice.
I don't know how well that's gonna work, but I think we're at least going to give it another shot.
Make sure you guys, I don't want you to shoot this on your phone.
We're not.
You're going to shoot it on a Red Epic, and I know where to get them. So
Okay.
if you want that link, I'll hook you up with it.
We're not doing a red camera, but we
Okay,
are going.
I am not watching
Get a
this.
blue one. Get a blue.
We are
Damn it.
actually going to shoot it on a camera, not a phone. So
A drone.
no,
What kind of camera?
Tell Justin I need that drone here soon.
I don't know off the top of my head. It's not my camera. It's one of our friends. He's letting us borrow. Well, he's going to help us shoot.
Is it a DSLR?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Very nice.
it's gonna at the very least the quality will be better on the film. However, we still have to. We're actually gonna try and maybe find like some people to
Help
be
you?
in it.
Right.
Not us with our terrible acting.
Well-
Can you tell us a little bit about what it would be? The short film?
We're gonna try and do Absence again, which was our horror movie that
Oh,
we tried
that's
to do.
right.
We're getting
last year.
remakes?
Yesterday.
Nice.
Yesterday.
I love the remakes of things that have never come out.
Yeah, isn't it great? But
I still got to do my remake of it too.
yeah, so we're gonna
Cashing in.
we're trying to plan it out a little bit better, have some things written down, maybe try and find some people to act in it. I don't know. It's all very early stages, but yeah, I think we're going to try and make another short film over the summer.
Well, I have good news for you, Nate, because I have a lot of hungry actors who will do anything.
Nice.
Anything?
Especially if I tell them, yes, anything. But they will definitely, if I'm like, hey, you should act in my friend's short, they would probably do it.
Nice.
So
There you
Yeah,
go.
I was going to hit you up at some point and be like,
So
we're-
shout out to all my actor
we're
friends.
the actors.
You know who you are. And even if I don't know you, be in this short.
Yeah, I'm always available, but for some reason, none of the stuff that I'm in makes it to...
You can be a background fisherman.
Yes, so talking about being burnt out, at one point at my job, I decided I was going to make some theatrical content that we were going to play. We were going to do like a short a month, basically. And everything was going to be... It was originally going to be movie related, but some of the movies that were coming out during this time kind of sucked. So I came up with some other ideas. So I shot 2 of these shorts in one night. One of them starred Steve. He was like the main actor of this short. And, I thought...
It was awesome.
I thought it was hilarious. Like, it looked good. Like, it wasn't as funny as I wanted it to be.
Shout out to Josh, who was in it.
Yes, shout out to our friend Josh.
If
who
you're
was in it.
listening, Josh.
He, like, the whole thing, like I said, it wasn't as funny as I wanted it to be because the punchline just didn't hit as well. Like, to me, it was funny, but, then I showed it to the higher-ups, if you will, and they're like, no. So then I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm not going to show you the one where I drop a cell phone in a toilet then.
Yeah, very
Which I was
good.
really proud of that shot because I had to get a fish tank and, like, it probably could have broken my face with the way that I shot it because I didn't do this safely. I just put a fish tank on top of 2 coffee tables and just laid underneath it to shoot this shot of a phone looking like it's falling inside of a toilet. It looked
Nice.
great. It looked great, but this fish tank probably could have broken my
Yeah.
face.
Yeah. And, at least we got to release our short where I played Michael Myers. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
That's true.
That one was good.
That one was awesome. When I'm able to put some thought into things and, like, be in it 100%, it definitely helps my content.
Yeah.
And that was one of those cases. I wasn't really 100% in those 2 other shorts.
So, real quick question: let's just say cashing out is going to be a success, which it will be. Okay, there's no doubt about
Fingers
that.
crossed.
Do you ever plan on doing the whole Stanley cameo thing in your future films?
I was actually in this movie, but the scene that I was in had to be cut because I didn't get permission.
Ooh.
I didn't get permission to shoot where I shot.
Legal Schmiegel.
Legal schmiegel.
Just look that way. No one will ever know.
And, actually, funny story. This isn't really a spoiler because I made a big deal about it, but I guess for those who don't know, it might be a little bit of a spoiler. But there's this scene that's a dance competition, and I had a hell of a time finding the girl that plays Jackie a dance partner because she dances in the movie. It's like a ballroom dance scene.
Spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler. Well, I mean, I guess. I mean, it's not a huge spoiler because there's photos of it on the internet, so
Oh, right.
I guess I'm already spoiling it.
Yeah, way to go.
But man, I had a hell of a time finding this girl a dance partner. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to step up to the plate and I'm going to dance on camera. So her and I, for a month, learned how to do the waltz.
Yeah.
And then a week before we shot the scene, I found somebody who knew ballroom dancing.
Oh.
Funny enough, he was a friend of my main actor. Just never thought of him. Just like,
Yeah.
oh, I just kind of have this friend who dances in professional ballroom dancing competitions. I mean, I know you've needed that shit for months and you've been stressing out about it, but I just thought of it, 2 days before we shot the scene.
Hey, real side note, compliment to Nate's shirt. I just now noticed you're wearing a sweet Dark Knight
That
shirt.
is a sweet shirt.
Oh, thanks.
Not that any of you guys can see that.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
It's low key. It's gray
yeah,
on red
it's-
though.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. It is low key. That's why I like it.
But yeah, I don't really plan on doing. I'm gonna call it the Hitchcock because I was about to say Albert Hitchcock. Alfred Hitchcock did like cameos like that in all of his movies, but it's not really something I'm interested in doing.
Yeah. All right. I just thought I'd ask.
Maybe if I had to be in it, but
Right.
it's not really a trademark of mine. I have other trademarks. Like one of the weird things I found that was a trademark of mine, especially in this movie, is people answering the front door. I'm like, damn, there's a lot of people answering the door. There's like another, like
Hello?
a trademark of mine in college was sliding things across a table, like just important items to the story, which is like having a shot. And I didn't do this like consciously. Like it was just something that happened.
Nice.
So I don't know. I'm weird,
Yeah.
I guess.
So, Alex, we pretty much know kind of what your summer goal is because you're trying to release your feature
Yes,
film.
my summer goal is to finish the damn movie.
But
Is it too far to think ahead? Is there anything?
Well, okay.
I feel
Man, I'm getting into major like spoiler territory because there's things that
Yes.
I told Nate a little bit about this,
Yes.
but I actually might have two projects in the works, two potential things. I was approached to do another feature,
yeah.
and I
nice.
haven't really told anybody about
Very
this.
nice. So now the whole
It's
world
not-
knows.
It's not a paid thing. I don't know if I'm going to do it yet.
All right.
Do
Because
it.
I got to make sure I've
Do it.
100%. Nate really wants me to do it. I told him what it's about briefly. And
All
he's
right, we'll
like,
talk off
"You should do it."
podcast.
Yeah. But I was approached to do another feature. I'm not going to say by who. It's not like a paid gig or anything like
Is it
that.
an adult film?
No, it's not.
Okay, cool.
It's not that kind of adult film, but it's a horror film. And funny enough, I've been saying for months that I wanted my next movie after cashing out to be a horror movie because I just want to do something completely different. And this script might be exactly what I was looking for.
You might be cashing in on
I
this.
might be cashing in on that.
It's
And-
pretty crazy.
And then I was also approached about possibly doing some music videos. So that might be in my future too, which I don't want to get stuck just doing like short films and features. Like I really enjoyed working on the one music video I did. So I definitely would like to do more of stuff like that.
Was
in
that
future.
the video you did with Jose as the voiceover?
No, that was actually one of my projects in college. That was
Okay.
a documentary just about the music scene in Northwest Indiana.
Which was good, by the way.
Yeah.
Jose did a great job.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. I would like to get him more into stuff like that if he's interested.
Yeah.
So shout out to Jose
Yeah,
for
good job, dude.
having a gorgeous voice.
oh yeah.
So
So, boys, is
I think that might be it because I don't really have any other summer goals. I mean, my main goal is just to finish cashing out. I mean, I'm probably not doing anything with this feature other than talking for
Right.
the time being.
Yeah, we're all looking forward
I've,
to it.
I've
It's
already
gonna be
talked.
great.
I've already talked too much
Yeah.
about this subject, so I'm.
that's what happens. It's called promotion.
I know.
It happens.
Yeah, it's
I know.
free here on Low Side Podcast.
That's true.
Alrighty, everyone. So that is going to be the end of this episode. We hope you enjoyed listening. We hope you had a good time listening to what we do when we get burnt out, our summer goals, current events that are going on in the world. Of course, don't forget to check us out on all of the social medias at Lowside Podcast, and also on iTunes and Google Play. Smash that subscribe button. Leave us a rating. Help us in the algorithm, please. We're begging you.
Get us those subs.
We're begging you to
We're
get.
begging for those reviews.
So yeah, of course, if you enjoyed, don't forget to like and subscribe, all of that stuff. You already know what to do. This is a podcast on the internet. Of course, I'm Nate. I've been joined with Steve.
Have a good night.